This video describes step-by-step instructions for installing Ashtware bridge design and rating. When we send out the installation package of BrDR, we send it to the shipping designee who is specified in the software request form. If the shipping designee is not specified, we will send the package to the end user designee. If you are not able to locate the installation package within the organization, please contact BrDR tech support at brdr@promiles.com for download links. The installation package is sent with two emails. One contains the download links, and the other contains the installation instructions. The download email contains the download links to the BrDR installer and multiple documents. The release letter summarizes the key features of the current version of BrDR. It also contains important information about the current release and future directions of the software. If you have questions about BrDR or seek for assistance to resolve technical issues, you might find the technical support document helpful. It lists information about reporting issues, getting technical notes, and how to contact the tech support team. Your download email may or may not contain the software license instructions. It depends on the type of license you own. This document explains how to activate BrDR for your first login. We will cover the activation in detail later. Please note that the download links will expire on a certain date, so please download the software before the links expire, even if you don't intend on installing it right away. Also, if your license is sponsored by a member agency, the name of the sponsoring agency is shown in the email. Please check with them about the version you require before installing BrDR. The instruction email shows detailed instructions for installing BrDR, and you can find the password to extract the BrDR installer in this email. After downloading the BrDR installer, move it to the temp folder in your C drive, then extract the installer with the password shown in the instructions email. Start the installation by right-clicking the Setup file and choosing Run as Administrator. The installation will begin. In the Welcome page, click Next. Click Yes to accept the license agreement. In this window, you can change the destination folder for installing BrDR. Choose the features you need. If you want to enable the features for database administration, choose the Admin utility. By default, BrDR will be installed in the Ashtware folder in the Program Files folder. BrDR stores bridge models in the database. The BrDR installer comes with Microsoft SQL Server Database. Choose the first option and the installer will install Microsoft SQL Server. The installer will also configure the database and create the database connections. You can change the destination folder for installing the SQL Server database. The setup has begun and will take several minutes. If the installer asks you to restart your computer, please save your work and restart. When the restart is done, the installation will continue. This window tells you that there are database files existing in the data directory. Please make the backup of the database files before overwriting them. When the installation is done, you can check the checkboxes to view the startup guideline and launch BrDR. If you are new to BrDR, you may find the startup guide helpful. For example, Section 2.2 describes how to make a backup of database with Microsoft SQL Server Management Studios. Section 6.2 shows the initial usernames and passwords for logging in to BrDR. You can also find the Ashtware BrDR release notes in the Ashtware folder. The release notes show the new features of BrDR and the incidents that were resolved for this version. The manuals and help documentation are stored in the Help folder. You might find them useful if you want to understand how BrDR conducts bridge design review and load rating. The Ashtware BrDR user manual is located in the installation package. The manual shows basic operations of the software and various components. In addition, the manual introduces BrDR user interface, the example bridges in the BrDR databases, and miscellaneous topics. You will need to activate BrDR if you have a workstation, academic, evaluation, or developer license. To obtain the license ID and activation password, please email the order number of your license to brdr@promiles.com, and we will send the ID and password back to you. BrDR version 7 uses a cloud licensing service. When logging into BrDR, the software will try to check out a license from the license server. If you only have one license and open multiple instances of BrDR, it will let you know that there is not enough license available. The cloud licensing service is configured and managed by ProMiles. You don't need to do anything to set up the service. In the login window, click on the button with 3 dots, and the database connection window will show up. If you choose to configure the database during installation, you should be able to see 2 connections for the BrDR database. If you want to create a new connection, click New. Enter the profile name, and select the connection type. If your database is installed on the same computer with BrDR, enter localhost for host address. Click on the Refresh button and enter the initial username and password from the startup guide. Click on the drop-down list and choose the database you want to connect to. You can click OK to close the connection window. To log into BrDR, choose the database connection and enter the initial username and password from the startup guide. You are now ready to log in. To uninstall BrDR, open the Add or Remove Programs. Search for Bridge in the list, and all the Ashtware Bridge products will show up. Click on the product you want to uninstall, and click Uninstall. Please note that the database will not be uninstalled when you uninstall BrDR.